Crypto presents exciting new opportunities for the investment-minded, but it's also volatile and accelerating in complexity. That's why we created Token Metrics, an intelligent crypto platform backed by an industry-leading combination of data, AI, and media that feeds optimized portfolios to crypto investors. Featuring Token Metrics ratings to help you find the best investment opportunities in real time, an indices page that showcases various model portfolios, and deep insights into price predictions and technical analysis. A dedicated NFT dashboard that evaluates NFT collections and assets by our machine learning algorithm to find the most profitable and secure NFTs across all available blockchains. Plus, with access to Token Metrics TV, monitor 24/7 exclusive crypto news and analysis. Whether you're a first-time trader or a seasoned crypto investor, you can stay informed and in control, backed by your all-in-one crypto companion, Token Metrics. Take control of crypto today at tokenmetrics.com.
We just landed on the moon in the lab.
Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to Token Metrics Live. I'm your host, Ian Bellina. And we have a great show for you guys. It's been Q1 is over. We're now heading into Q2, and crypto is still around, and crypto has been doing very, very well. Bitcoin has almost doubled in price, gone basically from 15K to almost 30K. So it's going to be what I think a good 2023 for Bitcoin and crypto. All right, so tune in, tell a friend to tell a friend. Not being in crypto and not being here for the stream is a financial crime. So hit the like button, subscribe, tell a friend, drop a link on Twitter, on Telegram, everywhere. We have a lot of analysis to get into. And in terms of things we'll cover on the agenda, let me just kind of bring this up real quick. So we'll go through, I'll do a quick market update, give you the lay of the land, how we're viewing the market using Token Metrics and the platform. Then we'll go through, cover some crypto news. Right. So part of the market update, I'll be touching on my thoughts on what's happening with XRP, Ripple, and the SEC case, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and Polkadot. Then we'll go through, cover some news that's happening this week in terms of XRP, the SEC, GPT has made a Bitcoin prediction. And you won't believe what it says. All right, so stay tuned. And then we'll go through and also potentially touch on Cardano, because I know lots of people care about Cardano, ADA. Then I'll go through and show you how to make money in crypto and how to be ready for what could be a generational wealth-making opportunity this year and until the next market cycle. So stay tuned for that. Then we'll go through, share our top coins for the month and the week for April, right? Basically, end of the week, we're heading into April, whole new week. What coins are the right coins to trade in a time like this? And then we'll take your questions from the AMA, right? So any questions you have, post them in the chat down below. All right, so with that being said, let's begin with the market update. So despite everything that's been happening in the market, we're still in a bearish trend. That's kind of what's ironic. So it goes back to the whole premise. There's always a bull run somewhere. There's always alpha somewhere, even in a bearish environment, even when the market is not doing too well. So even though we've been bearish, people are still making money, right? And specifically, if we see this, the gauge has been going back and forth. Before it dipped past 40, then it went to almost 70, and now it's kind of went back to 40. Now it's slowly creeping up, right? So it's kind of creeping up nice and steady. The main thing I've been looking at is Bitcoin season. Bitcoin has been on a rip. It's been tearing up, right? Meaning that most of the gains have not been in alts. Alts got ejected around here, and now people are accumulating and holding Bitcoin. That's why you have people like Balaji of Coinbase basically saying Bitcoin is going to 1 million in 90 days. Now, I don't think that's possible, but I do think Bitcoin can do very, very well this year, right? So stay tuned for that. And if we go here, we see the big sectors right now based on Token Metrics on our platform. For those of you who are brand new to crypto, I highly recommend you try out tokenmetrics.com. It's basically AI and data-driven grades, crypto ratings, crypto indices. It makes you a smarter investor using data and AI. So the hot sector right now that's trending up, L1s, layer ones, followed by exchange-based tokens, then Web3. Now, these grades are not doing too well, Preferably, you want to have a grade where it's over 80%. But as we see here, L1s are trending up. It's a hot place to be in right now. Specifically, we have Hedera hash graph that's up over 10%. So that's rather interesting. And if we come down here, we've got, hash graph. Blur is up 7%. We got VVS Finance that I've not heard of. Looks like that's pumping. Then ELF. Then in terms of the worst performers, we've got Songbird, Holo Token, Trader Joe, and 1inch. All right. So with that being said, I now want to segue to cover different coins that we're looking at right now. So let's begin with Bitcoin, right? So where are we with Bitcoin? Is it good to be in Bitcoin right now? And the answer is yes, not financial advice. Looking at this, Bitcoin has a trader grade of 83%. It's gone up more than 14% in the last 24 hours. And specifically, it turned bullish. Our signal turned bullish on March 16th on Bitcoin. So if you're on the sidelines, now's a good time to start maybe getting back into Bitcoin. Now, it's not saying go out there and degen and get into alts because it's not altcoin season, as I showed you here. Right now, it is Bitcoin season. And looking at this, looks like this has reversed and is now trying to bounce back up. But looking at this and looking at this signal, it has a pretty good ROI versus holding. And as mentioned before, accuracy is not really something that matters that much. What matters is, in my opinion, the Sortino ratio being decent. 1 is good, over 2 is great. The max drawdown and the ROI, right? Because you can be wrong a lot of times if you're able to fix being wrong very, very quickly. That's what matters. But anyway, that's what I'll be looking at. And if we go and look at the levels here on Bitcoin and try to predict, okay, if we're going to trade Bitcoin, what would that look like? What would be our target levels? Okay, so just bear with me here as I zoom in. So currently we're at 28,400, basically. Let's say 500 if we round up. In terms of targets, you could put support at basically 28,336. Then we've got 24,000 down here. If we're going to go up, we've got basically 37,700 almost. And we've got some other levels over here. Now, we are working on making this a lot easier and cleaner with a lot less lines, but this kind of gives you different frameworks on how to try to see where Bitcoin is going, right? So if we go to where it is today, right, we've got basically support here, 26,400 basically is a support level. And next we've got, I would say, 33,000 as one other target. So Bitcoin is creeping up. So in a time like this, I think it makes sense to be holding in Bitcoin. And if we go into our prediction here, let's see what it's predicting. So in the next week or so, it's basically saying Bitcoin is going to be hovering around 26,700 is the prediction. Then you obviously have a range, give or take, but that's the prediction of Bitcoin. Let's switch over to Ethereum, and we see Ethereum is also bullish. So basically, trader grade of 82%. It's up 8% in the last week or so. This turned bullish on March 17th, so slightly after Bitcoin. And this actually has a lot more accuracy versus holding, 1.87 Sortino ratio. Also a lot more accurate. So I would actually trust this signal. So basically, if it's bullish on Bitcoin and ETH, I would trust the signal just based on this. Again, if we're going to look at the predictions, let's actually look at prediction for ETH and see where this is going. So ETH is currently at 1830. It has 1724 for ETH. So basically, it's going to be going flat. Now let's look at the next levels for ETH in terms of where this could go. All right, so bear with me here. So the levels I'm seeing here, I'm seeing 1566 as one support level. Now zooming in. because it's 1830. So if it's going to go down, we've got 1752, 1656, and 1566 as three support levels. If it's going to go up, we've got 1867, 2042, and 2153 as resistance levels if it's going to go up. So that's kind of how I would view that. Now let's go to some other tokens or crypto assets. XRP. XRP is also very bullish, over 81%. And this also turned bullish on March 18th. It's up 45% in the last 2 weeks. So it's been on a rip. So to ratio is just all right. But I know there's been news with speculation with the whole SEC case. So it looks like something is definitely moving on XRP. It's currently at 53 cents. Where could it go? Okay, oh wow, it's predicting. Hold on, sorry, something. Just give me 1 second. Yeah, so the actual price is actually higher than the prediction, because prediction has it being at around 51 cents in a week. But if it's going to be over here, it could be as high as 60 cents. All right, so if we're going to look at the levels and say, okay, where could this go if we're going to trade this? So currently at 53 cents. All right, so I'll begin with support. We got support at 49, 39 and 35. If it's going to go up, we've got 58, 58, 62, and 78 cents. Yeah, I would say as high as 78 is the next levels. All right, so let's move on to some other tokens real quick. Solana, you guys know I'm bullish on Sol, although it hasn't had the best month. Because I think fundamentally this is more so on, let's actually go to investor grade real quick. Yeah, investor grade, it has a higher grade. This is more long-term, but if you're trading it right now, it's not the time to trade it, because as we see here, it actually turned bearish on the 27th. So I'm bullish long term because of the phone. I think if they're able to get right the Saga phone, the Solana Saga phone with Huya Mobile, I think that could be huge. And obviously this has done pretty well, historically speaking. Despite the crash, I think Solana will bounce back. I think they have enough capital to weather any bear market and any downturn. But yeah, so that's that. Then let's go to Polkadot. Right, so Polkadot not doing too well. It's still been bearish since March 4th, so nothing really new there. And there has been a lot of alpha on this signal relative to holding this. So if it's bearish now is not really the time to be in DOT. All right, so with that being said, let me check in with the chat and see how we're doing. Hey everybody, what's up? What's up, Walk? BK Crypto, Alicia, Nikki, Eddie, what's up? Dragon Ball Crypto. Good Friday. Good Friday to everybody. No moon juice at the moment. Yeah, Will Smith, that like button. Flip Burger. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right. Update on AstroDAO. We'll get through that. Audit is finished as of yesterday, so stay tuned. We'll be doing a Twitter space next week. Stay tuned for that announcement. All right, so let's now segue real quick to the next segment. I want to cover some crypto news. So some trending news that's been happening in the market that I want to go through. All right, so we've got here's one story. XRP exudes confidence before SEC verdict as March gains cross. Okay, so basically, quick summary on this. Let's see here. XRP's month-long uptrend may continue as indicators show no signs of slowing down. We kind of covered on XRP. Actually, it was over here, right? High traded rate. So there is something brewing with XRP. It's up 45% in the last 2 weeks, and our signal did turn bullish on it. But back to this story. Okay, let me just say, yeah, so basically XRP is up 53% in the last 30 days. But the main thing is people are basically speculating that there could be a ruling in favor for XRP against the SEC, right? And I think if that happens, that will be great. I mean, I think the whole crypto world will welcome it. People need, well, not people, I would say the community wants XRP to win this, I think, because it's a huge win for the crypto space. The SEC has overstepped, they've overreached, and they're trying to just land grab everything because it's now become a complete joke. You have the SEC saying that crypto assets are securities, yet you also have a US regulator, the CFTC, saying they're a commodity. So, like, how do you have two regulators who can't even agree with each other? And you expect the general public to be able to know whether it's a security or commodity? If the government has no idea, how can you expect the public to have an idea? Right? I rest my case. But anyway, things are looking good for XRP, in my opinion. Then we've got this other story. SEC's Gensler seeks 2.4 billion in funding to chase down crypto conduct. I mean, I don't even know why the SEC is just trying to overreach, right? They already have a lot of money. They're not really doing their job. And they need to hire more staff. They want to hire 170 additional staff. To me, I think that's BS, honestly. They need to just do their job, right? They're allegedly, or they claim to be protecting the little guys, but in my opinion, all they're doing is protecting the big companies, right? The big firms, because all these guys basically they work in the public sector or they work with the government, but as soon as they're done, they get cushy jobs with big firms, right? Like the last SEC guy, Jake Clayton, basically in his last month, he basically sued the XRP, filed the suit, and then he got hired by some big crypto company to be on their board. So all this is just to me saying that these guys have a conflict of interest, right? They're known for just regulating, but not really penalizing the large private sector firms like the Goldman Sachs of the world, because once they're done regulating, they get nice cushy jobs with nice paychecks at these big firms. So really, they're just protecting big banking interests, big banks. All right. So let's now move on to a prediction from ChatGPT. So this article says ChatGPT joins the crypto hype and sets Bitcoin price at $300,000 by 2030. Okay, that's rather interesting. So basically, somebody put out this model or this prompt to ChatGPT, and basically it's saying it can't predict the price with accuracy. But if it had to pick predictions from 2024 to 2030, it basically has Bitcoin at 2024 150K. So that's basically by end of the year. Actually, is it just end of the year or end of 2024? But anyway, basically, Bitcoin's almost 30K, so about 5x from current prices. By 2025, 175, and by 2030, 300K. Now, I think this is rather slow. I would be a lot more optimistic long term, right? This is too conservative, in my opinion, of a prediction, right? Then somebody else has a different prediction on Twitter. And basically, they say by 2024, Bitcoin at 28,500, basically. 2025 at 90K. By 2030, $1 million for Bitcoin. Okay, I think this is in more alignment. Now, I'm not necessarily a perma bull all the time, but I do think by 2030, I would anticipate Bitcoin to be higher than 300K. But anyway, let me know what you guys think. What do you guys predict is going to happen with Bitcoin? What's your prediction for end of the year for Bitcoin? And what's your prediction for what year do you think it will take for Bitcoin to hit $1 million? Let me know down below in the comments. My prediction, I would not be surprised if Bitcoin crossed 100K by end of the year. The way things are going this year, with QE, with banks, with the recession, I would not honestly be surprised if Bitcoin crossed 100K by this year. I think that's possible. Not financial advice. All right. Then some other tweets here. Now this, to kind of maybe counter that, so the US government sold 9,800 BTC on March 14th, and they intend to sell 41,500 BTC connected to Silk Road in 4 batches over the course of the year. So this could be sell pressure. So this ends up being, if Bitcoin is what, 2,800, that's for 28,500. This is what, $1 billion in Bitcoin? Yeah, basically 1.2 billion in Bitcoin. Now for perspective, let me go back to BTC here. All right, so Bitcoin daily trading volume is 21 billion. So basically we're looking at 1.3, about 5% of the daily trading volume being sold over the course of the year. All right, so I think Bitcoin can weather that, just going based off of this. All right, then this other tweet that was posted, and this person basically saying Bitcoin looks on track. They're basically looking at Bitcoin and the Bitcoin halving. We're 1 month away. Oh, I'm sorry, not 1 month, 1 year away from the Bitcoin halving. If you factor that in, historically speaking, every Bitcoin halving has been bullish for Bitcoin, but even more especially for the crypto market and for altcoins. So to me, I think it's possible post Bitcoin halving for Bitcoin to just do well. Now here they basically break up the Bitcoin bull runs into cycles. So you have the hype cycle, you have disillusionment, then you have accumulation. So basically you have the first cycle from 2012 to 2016. You have basically Bitcoin going through this hype phase, then all this. So now where are we currently? So they're saying currently we're in the accumulation phase. We're in the accumulation phase before we enter the hype cycle. So the next bull run. What does that mean? So basically they're saying the fourth halving date estimate is April 27th, 2024. So about 400 days from now, which makes sense. Then third cycle total estimate, 1450 days. So basically, we're not yet in the hype phase of Bitcoin. So I know while Balaji says Bitcoin to 1 million, I'm more in line with this other analysis, where I think right now, even though Bitcoin is going up, it hasn't really ripped. So I think by the end of the year, we could get to Bitcoin being 100K, but I think post Bitcoin halving is when Bitcoin is really going to tear up, and then when capital is going to flow into crypto and into other cryptocurrencies. And I think Ethereum and other altcoins will do very, very well. So basically from now until next April, I think it's a time to accumulate crypto assets. All right, so that's my take on all that. Let me just quickly check in with the chat, see how we're doing. Then I'll go through how I would be playing things right now. All right, so lots of questions on Sol, Helium, Cardano, and others. Okay, all right. So how would I play this, right? So, well, going back to this chart I just talked about, right? We're not yet in the bull run. Fundamentally understand that. Going back to my earlier market analysis, we're still in a bearish trend. We're still technically in a bear market. So even though we're in a bear market, Bitcoin has done well. Just think about that. For Bitcoin to do well in a bear market, if we go to, right, Bitcoin has basically gone from, let me remove trader grade, right, and just look at the price, right? It's gone from like basically 15K to 30K. Let me actually zoom in here. Right, this is a better chart, right? We've gone basically from 15K to 30K in a bear market. So that means things are a lot worse outside of Bitcoin, because you have banks basically going under. You have inflation. People are predicting hyperinflation. People are looking for ways to store their wealth. And how do you do that? Bitcoin is the hedge. Then you also have lots of other countries looking to get out of using the dollar as a reserve currency for global trade. You basically have BRICS, so Brazil, Russia, India, China, and then I think was it Saudi Arabia, all agreed to basically start trading in their own currencies or the yuan. So you have the dollar being attacked globally. Then you also have the dollar and central banks printing money with QE, quantitative easing. So, and you have the Feds having to deal with inflation. So people are looking for ways to store their wealth and their currencies. So if you're trying to get out of the dollar, what do you get into? Either Bitcoin or the yuan or your own currency. So, I mean, it's a very interesting time we're in. But I think for us to be in a bear market and for Bitcoin to still be doing well tells you how bad the macro things have become. And people are taking flight. And now you have regulators. They've gone out on an ambush this whole month, trying to basically cut off people leaving the fiat system or the US dollar. So that's why they're going after Coinbase, they're going after Binance, they're going after all these other companies. And guess what? People still want to protect their wealth. So no matter what they try to do, people will try to find ways to preserve their capital because nobody wants to be left holding the bag I mean, if the dollar does collapse, I mean, hopefully not, but if it does, nobody wants to be left holding the bag and have their wealth stolen from them by these crony banks and regulators. All right. So that's kind of my perspective. How would I play it? I would be accumulating crypto, right? So how do I make money in crypto? You have to understand the cycles, right? So right now we're in the accumulation phase. So from now until the Bitcoin halving is the time to accumulate. But because for those who don't know, right, Bitcoin halving, so the amount of Bitcoin being mined will decrease. So technically, Bitcoin will become more scarce. More scarcity, and basically supply and demand, Bitcoin becomes more scarce, the value goes up, right? So historically speaking, every cycle Bitcoin has gone up after every halving. But once the halving happens, you have retail and other people kind of coming into Bitcoin and crypto. But by then, it's too late. The time to accumulate is between now and end of the year, and then maybe till April. But post halving, at that time, we're now in the hype cycle. So you don't want to be accumulating during the hype cycle. You want to be taking profits and selling during the hype cycle. It's very simple. Buy low, sell high. All right. So basically, you want to buy during the accumulation phase and sell during the hype phase. So in a way, you basically swing trading, right? So the time to buy crypto assets is when things look bleak, when there's blood in the streets, when you're buying at a discount. You want to buy from forced sellers and then sell to people that think it's going to the moon and beyond, right? So that's that. Now, maybe you don't want to sell, but I do think it does make sense to take profits, but you definitely want to preserve your capital. You want to get out of depreciating assets like the dollar and fiat currencies. So that's how I would be playing this. And then from there, you can look into alts, right? So if we go back here, basically we're in Bitcoin season, right? So let's say most of the returns are in Bitcoin when it's in Bitcoin season. And once Bitcoin does well, you then take profits. People take profits historically and start buying alts, and alts also start doing well. Then once alts have peaked, people then take profits from altcoins and capital flows back into Bitcoin or into stablecoins. So the way I would be playing it is one, accumulate, have a list of crypto assets you want to accumulate as we're still in this accumulation phase, and get ready for the hype cycle post Bitcoin halving. So have a list of alts, but also have some exposure to either Bitcoin. I don't have Bitcoin, or you can, well, I don't personally have Bitcoin. Our fund has some Bitcoin now, or have other assets that maybe have correlation to Bitcoin, right? So for example, actually ETH is highly correlated with Bitcoin. So for us, Ethereum is one other alternative if we go to correlation. And then you also have other assets like stacks, smart contracts on Bitcoin, layer 2. So you have this, you also have Polkadot. But as mentioned, I would not be in Polkadot at the moment while trading it. Actually, if I go back to Polkadot, trading it, I would not be trading it. Investor grade is going up, but that's how I would be playing the market. All right, so let's now switch over to answer some questions from what people are posting in the chat. All right. Will the Helia merge with Solana be a good catalyst to get SOL to 100? What is your end of year prediction for Solana before the bull run? Because halving. I mean, I'm bullish on Solana long term. Right now, I think we're in the same accumulation phase for Solana. People have written it off, and that's fair. But I think it will bounce back. I think what they're trying to do with the phone is very, very ambitious and worth looking into. Right now, Helium, I think same thing. I would not FOMO into it. I still have Helium. I've been staking it. I haven't unstaked that. I think I would be watching it. I'll put it on watch list and see how it performs post Helium Mobile and post the Saga phone. And if that's doing well, if there's traction, then I think it makes sense to be in that. But I would just basically watch it using Tokemetrics on our platform. Solana has been getting dumped on. I'm uncomfortable buying. Sorry, just give me 1 second. Okay, all right. How is tax looking? Harmony One? Yeah, I mean, I can't talk too much about the tokens because you guys can just check that out directly on Tokemetrics. Hey, Rob, good to have you here. Hello, I'm looking to invest into Cardano ecosystem. I hold a lot of ADA. What would be some coins you recommend that are Cardano native assets? Honestly, nothing in Cardano has really taken off. If we go here, let's look at Cardano. Yeah, Cardano ecosystem projects. Okay, we've got Cardano and Chainlink, not much. API 3. Yeah, so honestly, nothing's really there. But let's actually expand and just say, okay, what are the top 5 coins or tokens to trade for the next week, or even potentially for all of April? So I like to come here. Let's look at the trader grade since we're looking to trade, not necessarily long term. Let me add a filter. We're going to look at only tokens with a daily trading volume of 10 million or more. And we've got Bitcoin, Trader Joe still, XLM, Ethereum, and XRP. So yeah, all these are bullish. And I think this makes sense. Caspa has been on this list for a while. For some reason, it's doing well. But I like to, let's only look at those on exchanges we like or have a kind of decent or have liquidity. So Binance, Coinbase, Gate, Kraken, and KuCoin are fine. All right, so yeah, let's do that and let's see what we get. All right, so we got Trader Joe. Okay, actually, yeah. Hold on, let me add some more exchanges. What other exchange do I want to add? Let's add OKX and yeah, okay, yeah, I think that's fine. And yeah, so same list. So hold on, why is Bitcoin not here? Okay, I think something's wrong. I'll go through that and figure out what's going on. Sorry, just give me 1 second. Just give me 1 minute here. All right, I just had to take care of something. All right, so let me actually just go back. Yeah, so we had Bitcoin, we had Trader Joe, we had XRP. Stellar moves with XRP, and we had ETH. Yeah, honestly, I would stick to those. Now, let's say we want to expand and say, okay, what hasn't gone over 80% in trader grade, but has the potential to move, right? So let's look at the biggest reversals in trader grade in the last 24 hours, right? So what has bottomed and is about to rip, basically. Now let me just add a filter and say greater than Let's say 50. Okay, so we've got Baby Doge. We got 1inch. I think they just launched their Android app. We've got the Graph. We got Superverse and Status, Komodo, and Injective. Actually, Injective has been on our list. I know they announced launching a Solana VM, virtual machine, on Cosmos. So being able to port Solana dApps onto Cosmos, which is kind of interesting. So those are also worth looking into. Now we could also add a filter and only look at those that have a bullish trading filter. So let's do that and see how that changes the list. So we got Stellar is again, ETH. Yeah, so I think if I had to choose on this list, Injective makes sense. Bitcoin, Stellar, ETH, and then these others I would also be looking at them as well. So I think that's a good place to start. You can also even add an additional filter and say only show us those that have gone up today, right? To kind of narrow down this list even more. So yeah, so kind of the same list. So let me actually move this. Let's say 70%. And see how this changes. All right, so we got an even smaller list now. So we got Komodo. This is like I think privacy blockchain. Elf, Injective, Stellar, Cardano, Caspa, and XP. All right, so that's the list. Let me know what you guys think. What are your top 5 coins for next week and for April? Post down below in the comments. Let's see what questions we've got. Jackson says 50K end of the year prediction. All right. Jackson says 750K by 2030. All right. 750K Bitcoin. That's very, very interesting. Lovelust says XRP is almost as exciting to me as the second coming of Christ. I'm not sure how to interpret that. Nikki says so much bearish on for crypto. Okay. That's quite the name there. Brazil present. Velocity thoughts. I'll just say for the tokens, just go on Tokenmetrics and check that out. Chat GPT is very conservative. Yes, I agree as well. Very, very conservative. I think it should be more optimistic and more bullish. All right, so let's see here. Loveless says, Ian, you're going to make me a millionaire. Thank you for helping me to transform my life. You're welcome. You're welcome. That's the goal. The goal is to make everybody
We just landed on the moon and the land.
millionaires and to build lifelong wealth, generational wealth for you and your family, to help you be able to fulfill your dreams and your wishes. That is my command. But I mean, as mentioned, right now we're in the accumulation phase still, right? So technically now is the time to accumulate between now and the Bitcoin halving next year. So we have less than 12 months. So accumulate. We're still in Bitcoin season. We're still in a bearish trend, but don't let that deter you from keeping your eyes on the prize. And that's generational wealth, right? And that's preserving your capital. That's getting out of fiat and being able to build up wealth, whether in Bitcoin or other crypto assets. But even though we're in a bear market still, Bitcoin has basically doubled in price despite that. So if it's doubled in price in the bear market, how is it going to do once we leave the accumulation phase and enter the next hype cycle? Right? That's where people get 100x returns, even 1000x returns. All right, so that is possible, but you got to keep your eye on the prize. What is the next 100x coin? The next Matic? Well, that's the question that everybody is asking, right? We've shared a list with our customers, especially those on the webinar, right, of about 20 coins we're bullish on for the next cycle that we've been personally, or I would say rather Tokenmetrics Ventures, our fund, accumulating. But we have shared this list with our customers. One of the perks of being a customer. But basically, you create a list of I think 20 coins or so. We accumulate them and just wait for the hype cycle, for the next hype cycle. Right? So buy low, sell high. Very, very simple. You could also just use token metrics by going to our platform and using the investor grade, which gives you a long-term list of projects we're bullish on. That's why we've made the platform. So using AI and data to help you. We think this is actually a lot more accurate than ChatGPT. And we're actually working on our own version using OpenAI's GPT-4 to turn this into a chatbot you can talk to, kind of like you guys talk to me now via this live stream, but as a chatbot, and it can guide you, not financial advice, but guide you on how to navigate the crypto space using our data, our metrics, right? The investor grade, the trader grade. So stay tuned. We're trying to put out an MVP of this as early as in a month or two. So stay tuned for that. Let me see. I still watch your World Tour videos from the earlier days from time to time. The Talon one in particular gets me really emotional. Thanks for everything, Ian. Thank you, Dragon Ball Crypto. I definitely appreciate that. The next Matic is Caspa. I would not say that. I would not say that. The next Matic is something else, because Matic did from all-time low to all-time high it was like a 930x return. So almost 1,000x return. Now, nobody gets that perfectly, but from all-time low to current prices, it was over 300x return, right? So for me, it was 400x return. I got in basically at what? Between a penny and between 1 to 3 cents. Then bought some more at 10 cents. Then sold on the way up. Sold over $2, over like $2.50. The high was like $2.96, $2.93, I believe. But basically 400x return on Matic, 400x return on Helium. Now we got to find the next ones, right? But it takes time. You can't force these returns. You just kind of sit there. Like Matic, you have to accumulate it for over a year and a half to 2 years. You can't force the large returns. You have to be patient, wait for them. And as mentioned, right now we're accumulating. All right, so I think any other announcements I want to talk about? Give me 1 second. Let me see here. Yeah, I think that's it. Unfortunately, I do have to roll, but I guess if you haven't yet, definitely go to tokenmetrics.com and sign up. We do have a coupon code Spring30 that gets you 30% off of Tokenmetrics. So I encourage you to go try it out. We also have a 1-week free trial, 7 days free trial. Try that out. For those of you who are customers, I'll see you. If you're an Astrobot, if you have the NFTs, I'll see you on Tuesday for the alpha call. And then if you're a premium customer, I'll see you on Wednesday for the 1 hour long webinar. So with that being said, hope everybody has a great weekend. Happy Friday, happy Good Friday. With that being said, take care, and we'll see you on the moon, on the other side.
We just landed on the moon in a Lambo.
The moon is not the limit. To the moon and beyond. Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye.